Hey, and welcome to this week's Inbound Whiteboard Debate. This week we are talking about the question that's on everybody's lips. Should Facebook have bought WhatsApp for $19 billion? Arguing the side of against is Sophie.
Hi, I'm Sophie, and today I'm going to be taking you through why I don't think Facebook should have bought WhatsApp for $19 billion. So first off, it doesn't make financial sense. WhatsApp has around 450 million users, paying about 69p a year, and even though they're on track to reach 1 billion users, it's still going to take an awful long time for Facebook to recoup that spend. But it's clearly not about the money, it's about the people. And when I talk about people, I'm talking about the coveted 16 to 24 demographic. And this is the demographic that over the past couple of years, Facebook has found it's quite difficult to tap into. And let's not forget that this demographic is actually the most social generation, and they're wary of Facebook. I believe this demographic is being underestimated. And we've seen the evidence that's shown that there's been a surge of interest in Telegram. Telegram is an app that is a messaging service just like WhatsApp, but it is not owned by Facebook. And since the news broke, it's soared. So I predict that We Will Never Sell to Facebook will become a pledge, almost a selling tool for some of the other social media startups. And it will be a really good selling tool to the demographic that do not want anything owned by Facebook. And that is why I don't think that Facebook should have made that spend and bought WhatsApp for $19 billion.
Next up we have Mr. Dan Holt, aka Business Bolt, arguing the point that Facebook should have bought WhatsApp for $19 billion.
Okay, so I'm going to now explain why I think Facebook purchasing WhatsApp for $19 billion was actually a really smart move. So first of all, it's really important to recognise that this is not about short-term monetization. So if you look back at Facebook in 2008, nobody knew in 2008 how Facebook were going to monetize that massive audience, and yet by last year, by 2013, they were generating over $8 billion in annual revenue. So people who are looking at this in terms of immediate monetization, they're missing the point. This is about control. This is about control over the next big media development. And to their credit, Facebook have accepted that other companies are doing better jobs in certain areas. So they made that decision with Instagram, and now they've made that decision with WhatsApp. I think what's really interesting here is that Facebook are almost, rather than diluting their core offering, what it seems they're doing is almost becoming a conglomerate of separate entities, of which I think WhatsApp, if you look at the price tag, is almost unquestionably going to be the most important. And I think we're starting to see why it's going to be so important, as WhatsApp have announced in the last 7 days that they will imminently be releasing free voice calls. Now this is massive because it has the potential to then make Facebook the owner of the world's largest call provider. I mean, that is huge. So when people look at this in terms of, oh well, WhatsApp only did $20 million in revenue last year, or perhaps there's a huge overlap in terms of user base between the Facebook community and the WhatsApp community, they're missing the point. It is not about those things. It's not about the users today. It's about maintaining relevance to the users tomorrow and long into the future. But as a plan B, if things don't go entirely according to plan, they do have a hell of a safety net. SMS advertising, is really big business now. So the fact that Facebook are moving forward is going to have access to 500 million, probably not too long until 1 billion users via text, is huge from an advertising point of view. One final thought. When people talk about this purchase of $19 billion, they seem to be overlooking the fact that only $4 billion was in real money, actually in cash. The rest was in Facebook shares, which are themselves 22 times higher than Facebook's revenue in 2013. And they're only going to maintain that very high value by Facebook making really smart investment decisions like this that ensure they maintain relevance to their target audience long into the future.
Thank you very much, guys, for arguing both sides. I think you both made very interesting points. I think the first one that I want to touch upon was that this 19 billion was a massive overvaluation. It was kind of a tech bubble, which Sophie kind of covered. And I think Dan argued back very, very well that it was actually only 4 billion in cash. The rest was in stock. which means Facebook are a tech company. They're part of this bubble that a lot of people are saying we're in, which means because most of the transaction was in their tech stock, they're offsetting the risk that there is a tech bubble, because if WhatsApp falls, so does the amount that they paid for it within their stock options. I think the second interesting point about this deal is the fact that WhatsApp is massive in emerging markets. It's absolutely huge because people don't want to pay these expensive text message bills that most of the carriers are using. And a lot of people at the moment in these emerging markets don't have access to the internet. So this is just going to grow and grow and grow. So this week's winner I'm going to announce as Dan, for arguing the point that the 19 billion acquisition was a good idea for Facebook. As always, this has been the Inbound Debate, and we'll see you next week.